Thank you for joining us today. And I say that from the bottom of my heart because for the ribbon cutting at the Department of Energy is not normally facilities like this, right? They're behind the fence line, either dealing with national security or with any of the portfolio of energy platforms or national labs that we have. We knew what purpose we wanted it to serve, but I don't think any of us could have anticipated how much pride and excitement we would feel the day that we get to see the facility and see that interface with the storytelling and the mission that we have. It's the same thing, which is actually working together to fulfilling our mission, which is visible here in Weldon Spring. You'll see the yellow poles, the groundwater monitoring, the disposal cell maintenance, and the continued compliance with state and federal regulatory activities. In fact, I want to share with you that this site distinguishes itself. The team that works here, our co-workers, our fellow citizens, our neighbors, in fulfilling its mission, and they were recognized, they earned the Environmental Protection Agency's Federal Facility Excellence Award in Site Reuse in 2020. The award recognized the site for its transformation from a contaminated World War II explosive manufacturing plant and Cold War era uranium processing facility into an educational and recreational site. This was a significant transformation into an asset for the people in the surrounding communities to use and a great example of beneficial reuse. It is something DOE needed to do for all the disadvantages and efforts these communities, past and present, have made for the site's proud legacy of service to our nation. And this site, this state, has a proud legacy of service to the nation. We can also go out of our way to take time to appreciate the sacrifices people before us have made to serve the freedoms we often take for granted. And I understand that there's a group of original workers from the TNT site. I'd love to meet any of them because like any Cold War worker, they did their duty, they didn't ask second questions, and they kept us free to where we are today. I'm going to repeat this more than once. It has been partnerships with members of this community through the greater St. Louis metropolitan area who have helped LM carry out the multiple success and the successful missions at the Weldon Spring Site. Here the art exhibit, which I encourage you after the ceremony to go in and take a look, tells the site story of service in the context of the nation, starting with the defeat of the Axis powers in World War II, defending democracy in the Cold War, and protecting human health and the environment during remediation. Workers at this site have always been dedicated to serving the country. The meeting rooms, the classrooms, the auditorium will soon be filled with students learning about the men and women who worked at Weldon Spring during the production era and the cleanup era, and various STEM disciplines. Our center staff are trained to provide innovative STEM programs, and the federal and contractor employees' daily activities provide examples of what those STEM careers look like. The trails and the prairie are priceless. They're conduits for exploration of the natural world, underscoring the necessity for our mission to protect fauna, flora, drinking water, and the environment, which is our righteous duty to these communities near our sites today and for the future generations.
Remediation was completed at the site in 2001, and for the last 20 years, the site has been under the stewardship of the Department of Energy Office of Legacy Management. And during that time, we've seen the public embrace the site as a local asset for historical preservation, STEM education, as a community meeting space, and as an amazing outdoor event venue. We invite you to browse our exhibit hall and reflect on the rich history of the site. Stroll in our garden or take a hike on one of our trails. Tour the classroom and talk to our Interpretive Center staff. Explore the educational opportunities that our site offers to the public and envision how your community group can use our Interpretive Center.
And so when the interagency agreement was signed 5+ years ago, I think it was back in 2016, This project was the first project the Corps of Engineers had done in support of Department of Energy and Legacy Management here in the region of this size, of this vertical construction. So that first conversation that led to this started developing that relationship. And then as we continued to work together, that relationship developed the trust that we needed to get to the results of what we see here today. And so it led to a national agreement that will allow USACE, the Corps of Engineers, with DOE Legacy Management to provide the same support, not just here in Weldon Spring, across the nation. And so we're extremely proud of that, this relationship, the trust, and the future that we have together. The team continued to challenge ourselves and the designers throughout the process to utilize the newest cutting-edge technologies for efficiency, sustainability, and the flexibility to create this facility.
Obviously, I can't stand here and tell you the story that this wonderful facility tells you, but I can talk just a little bit about what was here on that day in October of 1940 when the homeowners and landowners learned that this geographic site was going to be used for a TNT development plant. On October the 24th of 1940, they received a letter saying to them essentially, you're going to have to get out. Their initial response to this was, and I quote a number of people, if the federal government needs my land for the national defense, then I'll go.
Today's official ribbon cutting, I think we'll be prouder when we hear the sound of kids inside the facility learning about our responsibilities and how we went about protecting the environment and the public for future generations.